Unaona kama hii ni kanisa, unaona msalaba hapa,
utakaa nje na tunafanya kesi bila.
Ndio mama, mwambie tena, mwambie.
Na wewe kanyamaza pia.
Wewe ndio huo unachukua takataka kwa mimi.
Usijichanganye ndugu yangu.
Ile harufu alikuwa anapiga sisi. Ilikuwa mbaya.
Kuna nyumba yako tulimwaga takataka hapo.
Si umeuliza kama mimi anasema?
Sema hapana ama ndio? Yes, very good.
Wewe ndio Alphonse Makata.
Hapana.
Wewe ni nani?
Mimi ni garbage collector mheshimiwa.
Kitambulisho yako iko wapi?
Kitambulisho yangu.
Si hata mimi kwa charge sheet imeandikwa Alphonse Makoha Makata. Na ukaitika.
Iko Makata hapo.
I am 10 years old, grade 5, and my talent is acting and dancing. The person who inspires me is Colo Blue. He is a good dancer, and when I grow up, I want to be a good dancer like him.
Sometimes you can know what kind of a story you're going to get by the words that make the title. For example, our story today is One Dark Night.
Susie works in a shoe shine shop. Where she shines, she sits. Where she sits, she shines.
Today I'll be preparing pizza for you.
Mama ananiambia nisicheze kwenye
Well, tonight, East Africa is focusing on two things: stability and sustainability. Tourism operators are receiving high-level safety assurances ahead of the key elections in the two East African countries, Tanzania and Uganda. Also in the program, a new green initiative is set to empower women and youth. We have a full report on the Climate Action Summit. Good evening, my name is Mboya. Welcome to Prime Edition, this 29th day, Tuesday, 2025. Topping this live broadcast.
Sikia tu mlio wa ndege imechange ile movement alafu ikalipuka.
Deaths away from home. 10 tourists, one Kenyan, perish in a plane crash in Kwale County on their way to the Masai Mara. Justice after 18 years. A land court cancels a title deed of a piece of land worth 2.8 billion shillings grabbed from the Karura forest. Fake exam papers enterprise. A 22-year-old Mary University student in court for publishing and selling fake examination papers. Plus, activating the ground. President Ruto hosts Nakuru grassroots leaders at State Lodge, Nakuru. Thank you very much for joining us. Speak to us on our social platforms at KBC Channel 1 on all the social media platforms. We will be sampling some of your views at the tail end of this broadcast. Our sign language interpreter is Susan Maura. Lucy Maura is in charge of our sign language docket. And thank you for joining us. My colleague Muchuma Odim is not in. She will be joining us next week. Let's begin this coverage with a story here on that plane crash where 10 foreign nationals and 1 Kenyan have been identified as victims of Tuesday's plane crash that took place in Kwale County. Of the 11, 8 were Hungarians and 2 were German passengers, along with 1 Kenyan crew member. In a statement, Mombasa Air Safari said that one of its aircraft, registration number 5YCCA, was operating a scheduled flight from Diani Airport to Kichwa Tembo, that's located in the Masai Mara, when it crashed. The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority have also confirmed the incident, saying that the aircraft crashed at 05:30 hours, with investigation still ongoing to establish the cause of the accident. That's the report that opens our coverage, and it was filed by Doreen Arange.
A cloud of smoke, twisted wreckage and scattered debris is what's left of a plane that had a group of tourists on board. Authorities are piecing together evidence that will assist in finding the cause of the deadly crash that claimed 11 lives in Kwale County. According to Mombasa Air Safari Limited, the aircraft was carrying 10 foreign nationals and 1 Kenyan pilot. The passengers included 8 Hungarians and 2 Germans. In the official statement, the airline says it has activated its emergency response team and set up a family assistance center to provide counseling and logistical support to relatives of the victims.
We would want to send our deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives in this accident. 11 of the persons who are in the plane all perished in the accident.
The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority said the plane, registered as 5YCCA, crashed at 5:30 hours, moments after takeoff from Diani Airport. Bad weather is touted as a possible contributor to the crash. Eyewitnesses say the impact was followed by a loud explosion.
Tulipofika tumepata moto unawaka sana. Hatukuweza kuzima huo moto, lakini wakati nakimbia kuja huku nikatoa hizi habari kwa assistant chief na chief wangu. Bahati nzuri nikiwa mbioni, admin wa hii wadi ya Tsimbagolini ya Miss Kenya, na yeye akawa na communicate na simu ofisa. Nikawa na yeye hapa, tukasaidiana tulivyosaidiana, na mashallah baadaye konvoi yote ya serikali ya Kenya ikafika hapa.
This is the second deadliest air traffic accident since 2006. Doreen Arange for Prime Edition.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has recovered a 2.8 billion shilling worth 7.11 hectare parcel of land that was previously grabbed from Karura Forest and the Kenya Technical Training College. In a ruling on the 23rd of October this year, the Environment and Land Court delivered a judgment cancelling the title of the land that had been acquired by Gigiri Court Limited, which obtained the property from the late Environment Minister John Joseph Kamotho, who is said to have been allocated the 2 parcels illegally. With the case taking 18 years in court, the Anti-Graft Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to keep up the fight in asset recovery, even as it warned individuals to avoid engaging in shady deals.
After an 18-year battle, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption case that has seen the anti-graft body recover a 7.11 hectare parcel of land worth 2.8 billion shillings.
The first property that was illegally allocated was a small triangular plot that is inside KTTC, and then later on they grabbed into the Karura Forest.
According to EACC, the 2 parcels of land which were later amalgamated into one through amalgamation of Block 91 of 130, originally reserved for KTCC, and Nairobi Block 91 of 333, which was part of Karura Forest that was not degazetted, were illegally allocated to late former Minister of Environment John Joseph Kamotho, prompting the then Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission to file a lawsuit in the year 2006.
When the minister was allocated that parcel of land, he sold it to a private individual, a company called Gigiri Court Limited. The intention of that particular individual or other company was to set up residential houses in this part of the land. This is part of the college and also part of the Karura forest. By our action, that individual was not able to construct those buildings that he intended to construct.
The court held that the land was alienated government land and its allocation to the minister was in contravention of the Forest Act and the Government Lands Act. With this win, EACC now says it will step up the fight against illegally acquired public assets.
It doesn't matter how long it takes. Like this one has taken 18 years. But we will eventually recover it back and hand it over to the public. New lease or title will be issued to the two institutions, this part to the college and the remaining part to Karura Forest.
We will continue protecting all the resources because, as you know, forests are very important as our water catchment areas, 1. 2, our biodiversity mainly is in the forest. So they are important for biodiversity conservation. And you also get so many goods and services from the forest.
The Commission has in the last 1 year filed over 80 recovery suits seeking to recover assets valued at approximately 4.8 billion shillings. Some of the concluded cases are the recovery of a road reserve land worth 30 million shillings that had been grabbed in Nyali, Mombasa County, a prime parcel of land worth 35 million shillings belonging to the State Department of Housing and Urban Development next to the Bungoma State Lodge. The public auction of 6 prime properties recovered from former Migori Governor Okoth Obado and former head of Treasury at the City County of Nairobi, Mr. Stephen Osoro, valued at 75.4 million shillings, and the recovery of public land valued at 50 million shillings, located within the Kenya Railways Lighthouse Kizingo Estate, belonging to the Kenya Railways Corporation. Yusufar reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, the government has recovered more than 600 illegal guns in Kerio Valley in an effort to curb insecurity in that region. Speaking during a tour in Marigat and Kabarnet, that's in Baringo County on Tuesday, President William Ruto appealed to those who still possess illicit arms to surrender them willingly to security agencies or face the full force of the law. Kasichana Masha reports.
On Tuesday, President William Ruto toured Baringo County to launch a series of development projects. Addressing residents of Kabarnet town, President Ruto said the government has recovered 600 illegal weapons in an effort to curb the 3-decade-long insecurity in the region that has led to loss of lives and destruction of property.
Kazi imefanyika, Your Excellency, kwa miezi 4, 5, 6 ambayo imepita ni kubwa sana. Kiasi kwamba kwa Kerio Valley region yote hapa tumetoa bunduki 602 kwa mikono ya wananchi. Saa hizi imeshatokezea. Kwa Baringo alone tumechukua bunduki 170, lakini bado, Your Excellency, hiyo ni bunduki kidogo.
Separately, the head of state held a meeting with grassroots leaders from Nakuru at State Launch Nakuru. It is in this forum where the head of state underscored his commitment to giving Kenya world-class road infrastructure, including the Rironi-Nakuru Mau Summit Road, set to be launched soon.
Tumekubaliana ya kwamba hapa Nakuru bado tuko na shida kubwa ya barabara. Si ni kweli? So mwaka huu kupitia budget wabunge hawa wamenisaidia, tumewapatia shilingi bilioni 2.6 2.6 billion ya Nakuru County ya barabara. Tuko na barabara zingine mpya tumeanzisha karibu kilomita 200 hapa Nakuru.
The president said he would have launched the construction of the 230-kilometer road earlier, but was dissatisfied with the road design, which had not factored in the growing volume of traffic along the key transport corridor.
Mimi natengeneza sheria, napeleka bunge mwezi ujao, tutengeneze National Infrastructure Fund ya Kenya, ambaye itatusaidia kukusanya pesa kutoka budget yetu, kutoka pale katika capital markets kupitia mambo ya privatization, na pia kupitia mfumo wa public-private partnership.
Kasichana Masha, Prime Edition.
Well, that story brings us to a fast break here on Prime Edition. When we come back, we'll be shifting from illegal weapons to another kind of threat, this time in healthcare. You don't want to miss that. We'll be back shortly.
Unaweza shangaa na tabasamu ya usoni, tunahakikisha
lugha tuseme za kwetu, tusiofie kejeli, talanta ya songa mbele, maendeleo ya ng'aa.
Serikali imefanikiwa ama imefua dafu kudhibiti visa vya ajali nchini.
Serikali imefanikiwa kuweka kamera za kidijitali ambazo zinaweza kupima kama gari inawenda kwa mwendo wa kasi.
Kwanza unajua kwamba mashinani hakuna hizo kamera za usalama unazosema.
Unapika, unashiba, Lea Premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Kutoka mji wa mpakani wa Busia hadi mji wa mpakani wa Moyale, mazungumzo yanaendelea. Safari hii, mazungumzo ya kizazi, yani transgenerational conversation, inatua kaunti ya mpakani Taita Taveta. Tukutane, tusikilize, tuzungumze na tuelewane. Mpango mzima utakuwa Alhamisi tarehe 30 mwezi huu kuanzia saa 1:30 jioni, moja kwa moja kutoka Dan Mwazo Social Hall, Voi. Kumbuka, utapata fursa ya kusema jina lako, kuuliza swali na kujibiwa papo hapo. Mazungumzo haya yameletwa kwenu na KBC kwa ushirikiano na NCIC, Korea International Cooperation Agency na UNDP.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama Pedeshe, Ma Deep State, vile Cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija kipwani.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Now, a new nationwide assessment of over 3,600 health facilities conducted in 2024 has revealed serious gaps in service delivery, staff shortages, and accountability failures, including cases of negligence which have led to preventable maternal deaths. Speaking in Nairobi, Kenya, during the launch of the assessment report, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale decried the increasing cases of maternal death in the country, terming them unacceptable. The CS vowed to revoke the licenses of medics involved in such cases. Joseph Wahungu is the one on that report.
Despite ongoing efforts by the government to provide all Kenyans with quality health care, a nationwide assessment of health facilities has unearthed shocking findings from staff shortages and absenteeism to inadequate medical equipment and unreported maternal deaths. The revelations were made Tuesday during the launch of the Kenya Quality of Care and Human Resources for Health Assessment Report, the Service Availability and Readiness Assessment, and the Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, Child and Adolescent Health and Nutrition Investment Case.
I want to say that we are renewing a very simple promise that every mother, every newborn, every child, and every adolescent receives safe, respectful, and high-quality care every time.
Findings from the assessment show that only 37% of facilities providing delivery services had all the basic obstetric and newborn care functions, while just 46% of level 4 and 5 hospitals could provide full emergency obstetric care.
Facilities offering higher levels of care than they are accredited to then may face challenges. They may not be able to have the right They may not be able to have the right workforce, and therefore the health outcomes may not be optimal.
Equally, laboratory services remain weak, with full hemogram tests available in only 57% of facilities and frequent interruptions of up to 39% reported. The study also exposes a serious human resources crisis, with the country's healthcare ratio to patients standing at 14.3 per 10,000 people, far below the World Health Organization's target of 23 needed to achieve 70% universal health coverage. Only 4 counties, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu and Nyeri, meet the WHO threshold. The assessment further highlights financial gaps, rampant absenteeism of health workers at facilities, irregular supervision and a weak mentorship system.
And what we have proposed here is to establish a professional practice evaluation criteria that ensures that health workers' renewal of licenses is also tied to the outcome.
Of great concern too is the rise in maternal deaths, which CS Duale has termed preventable and occasioned by negligence by healthcare providers.
Mothers go to our facilities when they are very healthy, and they are going there to give life. Those mothers cannot and will not. It is immoral, it's unconstitutional, it's inhuman if we allow them to continue to die while they're giving life.
The Ministry of Health is establishing a digital maternal deaths reporting system to track every case nationwide, warning that failure to report will be treated as a criminal offense. Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
On to an item we highlighted at the beginning of the broadcast. Tourism stakeholders from the East African region have assured tourists of their safety ahead of the general poll scheduled for October in Tanzania and in January 2026 for the Ugandans, as they seek to promote regional tourism to spur growth within the sector. Speaking on the sidelines of the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition in Malindi, Kilifi County, the stakeholders called for collaboration in the sector as the two nations undergo their democratic processes to forego the over-reliance on internationals to sustain the sector within the East African region. Here is our reporter, Abdiaziz Hashim, with the details.
The second day of the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition in Malindi, Kilifi County. So the over 500 delegates who are key players within the tourism industry discuss how the two nations can leverage on the culture of both nations to spur growth within this sector.
My biggest takeaway has been the product knowledge that I've gotten about the Kenya coast.
A conference like this is definitely going to be very impactful with sort of like bringing these two countries together, not to compete, but to sort of complement each other.
Speaking on the sidelines of the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference, Ambassador Paul Mukumbia, the Consul General Consulate of the Republic of Uganda in Mombasa, assured tourists of their safety within the East African region ahead of the general election scheduled in October for Tanzania and January 2026 for Uganda as they seek to promote regional tourism.
The campaigns started earlier this month, but we've not seen any scenes of insecurity or violence. We are having very peaceful campaigns. That is, up to now, it is at the presidential level. Very soon we shall be starting campaigns for the members of parliament. So there should be no fear at all. I think elections in Tanzania are this week. I have not seen people cancelling their trips to Tanzania. So really, there should be no fear at all.
This as other stakeholders assured locals of standard rates within the region to ascertain fairness and affordability.
And we have a single rate for Uganda, for Kenya, it is called East African rate. So it's not that a Kenyan will be charged more expensively, different from a Ugandan. It is all the same rate. So come and explore the Maction Falls.
We are looking forward for your collaboration with your various offices and to market us with the products which you saw.
The participants called on the two governments
of Uganda and Kenya to continue prioritizing and to develop pro-business policies and ensure sustainability through tourism funding, particularly for the youth.
The conference concluded with both countries rallying behind the tourism cooperation signed between the two nations this year. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Now, tonight, the National Assembly Housing and Urban Planning Committee is saying that the committee social housing project should include social amenities for communities that will occupy the residential estate. Members of Parliament, while inspecting the 3.1 billion shilling project, noted that unlike others, it does not have a school or even a health facility in the plan. At least 4,000 households affected by floods within Nairobi County are expected to occupy the houses, whose completion is expected in 2027.
Day 2 of inspecting the ongoing housing projects being implemented by the national government. The National Assembly Housing and Urban Planning Committee toured the committee social housing project that commenced 3 months ago. Despite the committee observing positive progress in the construction of the 4,000 housing units, there is concerns of a failure by the State Department of Housing to include social amenities like schools and hospitals in the plan.
Our major concern only in this particular project is the amenities which are supposed to be here, especially the hospital and of course the schools.
According to the 3.1 billion shillings contract, the contractor is supposed to build 40 classrooms in Embakasi West constituency. MPs queried the rationale of taking the classrooms to Embakasi West instead of Roysambu, where the committee project is based.
This land was a prison's land. The prisons also, the committee prisons, we know is a very big institution, and it must also have institutional housing so that it can cater for the warders who are working inside there.
The committee also visited the Mathare North ESP market, where members raised concerns over the quality of workmanship.
They must be able to tell Parliament why they would approve payment of 163 million, which is 92%, when the work has not been completed, when the work which has been done is done shoddily.
Legislators say the contractor, who has already received 92% of his payment, should complete the remaining 30% of work within the next 2 weeks. Ishok Washira, Prime Edition.
From housing, we now turn our focus to security. The government has rolled out a rapid result initiative aimed at eradicating criminal gangs and reducing crime across Nairobi County. Speaking during a meeting with administrators at St. George's Girls Secondary School here in Nairobi, Kenya, Nairobi Regional Commissioner Gilbert Kerio said that the 100-day plan seeks to deliver quick and measurable results in tackling organized crime, drug abuse, illegal gambling, and insecurity hotspots.
It was a meeting that brought together the National Government Administration officers and members of the Nyumba Kumi initiative from all sub-counties in Nairobi County. Nairobi County Regional Commissioner Gilbert Kerio noted that the 100-day plan seeks to reduce crime in the city by up to 80% by January, noting that the festive season often records an upsurge in criminal activities.
We know as of now our prisons are full, but we don't mind arresting even more. We don't mind taking even other actions against this because we must reduce these vices, especially now that we are going into the festive season. We know the children are home now. We are going into Christmas period, and we must tackle those things. We have a by-election in Nairobi, which will test things in future, so we must start from here.
The plan includes mapping and profiling criminal gangs, rehabilitating juvenile offenders, engaging border operators, and improving street lighting in poorly lit areas.
We want to use the grassroots committees, which are chaired by the chiefs and assistant chiefs and the Nyumba Kumis, to try and assist us to map out those crime-prone areas. Then apart from the crime-prone areas, we want them to assist us to identify the individuals who are causing problems within those hotspots. Once they do that, we shall form a multi-agency committee which will be composed of course, the police, the DCI, the NGAOs, and other stakeholders.
The Rapid Results Initiative will run for 100 days with regular reviews by the County Security and Intelligence Committee. Jacqueline Masharia for Prime Edition.
Let's now move to matters HR, and the government has reaffirmed its commitment to recognizing skills gained outside of the formal education systems. Labour and Skills Development Principal Secretary Shadrach Mwadime says that the move seeks to empower skilled workers broadly and revive the informal sector.
The recognition of prior learning graduation ceremony for 147 artisans and entrepreneurs at the National Industrial Training Authority in Nairobi. It is here the government reiterated its commitment to recognize skills gained outside formal education systems.
We have a very youthful and dynamic population. So these young people have gone out of their way to gain these skills without going through any training institution. And I think it's the responsibility of government to certify these skills that they've been able to acquire.
Funded by Skills Initiative for Africa and MDF Training and Consultancy Eastern and Southern Africa, the initiative targets individuals who have acquired skills through hands-on experience in areas such as masonry, construction and computer technology.
We ensure that there is a quality assurance team that looks at the processes, and if there are any gaps, it brings out those gaps right from when we're developing the curriculum.
Helping them gain official recognition through nationally accepted certification. The National Industrial Training Authority plans to extend the program to other trades, including electric work, plumbing, hospitality and digital technologies, with the goal of transforming Kenya's training and employment landscape.
We were providing skills to the graduates in terms of getting into the job market. What does that entail? Soft skills training that sometimes are disregarded. Then, over and above that, entrepreneurship support.
The recognition of skills acquired outside formal education is expected to boost productivity and dignity of labor, while supporting the government's agenda of creating a skilled and competitive workforce.
Bring a future that is totally so much different into to break, like just to dominate in a societal where women are not seen to be succeeding. I want to be seen as the somebody who succeeds and right that particular kind of position.
Timothy Kipnosu for Prime Edition.
Into the corridors of justice, where a university student has been arraigned at a Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi on charges of cybercrime and identity theft. The 22-year-old Meru University student is accused of publishing fake Kenya National Examination Council papers online and being in possession of identity cards belonging to other people. Now, the accused, Naisuma Crispianus Nembablu, appeared before the Milimani Court's trial magistrate Ben Mark Ehobi, where he denied all charges. According to the prosecution, between 2022 and 2025, Nambafu allegedly ran an online syndicate that published false and misleading information and sold fake Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) papers to unsuspecting members of the public. The court granted him a bond of 200,000 shillings or an alternative cash bail of 100,000 shillings, with the case scheduled for formation on Tuesday, November the 18th, 2025. Still in the courts, the government is prioritizing the engagement. I beg your pardon, we are moving out of the courts, and the government is prioritizing the engagement of women, youth, and marginalized groups as active agents in the green transition. During the opening of Climate Action Summit, Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza noted that green transition aligns to the national priorities with global commitments to accelerate the transition to a sustainable, all-inclusive and climate-resilient nation.
Delegates and environment stakeholders drawn from across the globe gathered for a Climate Action Summit at Kenya School of Government in Lower Kabete. Under the theme Innovation and Inclusion, the summit embodies to drive sustainable for inclusive growth and development and must be people-centered.
The outcomes of this summit will feed directly into our global reporting posture, showcasing the concrete progress Kenya is making in implementing its climate priorities, from clean energy transition to locally led adoption and integrated river basin management.
In aligning with the theme, Kenya Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Barasa noted that the government has prioritized the inclusion of women, youth and marginalized groups as active agents to drive the climate agenda.
The ministry has scaled up nature-based enterprises and green jobs, targeting the creation of 500,000 green opportunities by 2030, especially for women, youth, and persons with disability.
The CS was keen to emphasize the need for African countries to support the setting up of the Africa Climate Summit Secretariat that will create awareness on carbon market, enhance support to ecosystem restoration, and implement African countries' nationally determined contribution NDCs.
Kenya's response has been deliberate and strategic, guided by the Climate Change Amendment Act 2023 and the National Climate Change Action Plan. We remain committed to advocating for climate finance reforms that prioritize adaptation and loss and damage.
This comes amid calls to forge practical partnerships, scale innovative solutions, and empower communities to lead.
But it is about creating systems that work, systems that connect national ambition with local realities and leadership vision with community action.
Together, we can strengthen institutions, mobilize resources, and unlock the potential of locally led action to deliver tangible results.
Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
Let's get on to some serious business now. Coffee cooperatives will have to seek the National Treasury's nod before borrowing from any lending institution. These are among the raft of policies that government has outlined to rein in on reckless borrowing by coffee societies. The new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union chairperson, Daniel Chemno, also says that government will waive 6.5 billion shillings coffee cooperative debt out of the 9 billion shillings presented by the cooperatives. Benson Rioba has the details.
Kenya's once fledgling coffee sector is now a shell of its former self. Years of mismanagement, poor leadership, and financial indiscipline have crippled the once profitable sector. This has left farmers with huge historical debts that haunt many cooperatives. The government says it will write off 6.5 billion shillings owed to various financial institutions by coffee farmers in a bid to improve their financial liquidity. The new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union chairperson, Daniel Chemno, says the debt waiver will be the last and any borrowing will have to be sanctioned by the government.
Genuine debt is 6.5 billion and the government will allocate in the budget, offset it for them. Verified, the government will pay for it. And that will be the end of cancellation of debt.
To reduce the debt burden on coffee farmers, the 20% deduction on total coffee sales will remain despite objections from some cooperatives, with claims that some societies included debt on operational costs.
Some loans, the farmers don't know what the 100 millions that the officials took, wakajigawanyia, wakanyamaza. Sasa walikuwa nangoja lump sum ikuje, waweke 3 months kwa fixed account, wapate interest yake, alafu sasa wakuje mbele waseme nini? Unajua ile manene na nini tumerecover hii.
To reduce commercial borrowing by coffee cooperatives, the National Treasury has disbursed 5 billion shillings for onward lending to coffee cooperatives at a lower interest rate.
With DSS, the money is recovered at source, at the account, based on pre-agreed agreement. We don't say we'll take all of it. We'll say maybe this loan is high, we can take it over 3 years at this amount.
Not want to get into business, want to facilitate business. And this government has been very clear and facilitating coffee beans from the farming end, providing input at subsidies, ensuring the policy framework is in place.
New KPCU is also urging farmers to open dollar accounts to fully benefit from the direct settlement system. Benson Rioba, reporting for Prime Edition.
Kenya is banking on improved governance to strengthen debt sustainability and improve economic performance. Director General of the Public Debt Management Office, Raphael Owino, says equipping leaders from key institutions with the right training and also technical skills is crucial for enhancing accountability and also effective management of public resources.
Kenya continues to grapple with growing public debt and the pressure to improve fiscal transparency. Strengthening governance in public financial management is seen as vital to ensuring the prudent use of public funds and restoring confidence in how government institutions utilize resources.
What has been driving transformation in a number of countries, and this has been proven globally, is leadership. And therefore, to have a program that will address the leadership gaps that we are having in our public sector institutions, to me, is very critical.
Speaking during the graduation of the first cohort of the Africa Capacity Building Foundation's Leadership, Entrepreneurship and Accountability for Development Program, Director General of the Public Debt Management Office, Raphael Owino, says there's need to put in place proper safeguards in the management of public resources. Graduates from Cohort 1 of the LEADS program have been urged to act as ambassadors of ethical leadership, noting that the end of their training marks the beginning of a broader responsibility to champion change within their institutions.
I believe that with this new generation, well equipped to lead effectively, they can be able to support the change process that is also within the government.
How do we collaborate? How do we break the barriers, the silo mentality, and looking that we are all required to work together to enhance the PFM system collectively.
Kenya and Israel have teamed up to address the rising cybersecurity threats in Kenya. The two countries will collaborate on research and early warning systems to forestall cyber threats. Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communications and Digital Economy, William Kavogo, says the partnership will focus on technology transfer, allowing Kenyan engineers to co-develop and deploy Israeli-grade defense tools in national projects such as Konza Technopolis.
Kenya has seen an upswing in cyber attacks in the recent past, targeting public sites and financial institutions like banks and SACCOs. This has resulted in huge losses, with experts hinting at losses running into billions of shillings. Data from the Communication Authority shows that cyber threats doubled from 3.5 billion to 8.6 billion attempts by mid-2025. The report further revealed that system vulnerabilities and web application attacks remain the top threat vectors targeting Kenyan organizations, with AI-driven phishing, deepfakes, and insecure IoT devices making it easier for attackers to scale and harder for traditional defenses to counter, with fewer than 2,000 trained professionals graduating annually against an estimated demand for 44,000 positions.
These investments are unlocking innovation, entrepreneurship, and service delivery at a scale. Yet, with this transformation comes an equally growing responsibility to ensure that the foundations of our digital economy remain safe, trusted, resilient, and cybersecurity has therefore emerged as a defining element of our national security.
And the whole ecosystem needs to be secure. Every weak link can affect all of us. So this is why we invest in training for our partners, customers, and academia, as well as the world's raising efforts.
To address this, Kenya is leveraging Israel's technical expertise, local university partnerships, and a new emphasis on proactive digital resilience.
I think that one of the biggest challenges or biggest opportunity that stands before Kenya is to become the cyber center of Eastern Africa, or maybe of Africa as a whole. And if you look at the Israeli model, how Israel has positioned itself as a major cybersecurity center in the world, Kenya can do that as well.
Information Cabinet Secretary William Kabogo says the country's cybersecurity strategy hinges on collaboration among government, academia, and the private sector.
Quantum computing is coming, make people aware, have partners who have developed to come and share their knowledge so that we also learn.
As such, government as well as private sector has said that it is time that Kenya had a collaborative engagement. Various programs that put together government, private sector as well as academia to ensure that Kenya builds the requisite capacity as it gravitates towards embracing more technology and working towards realizing its dream of being the Silicon Savannah of Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm Regina Manyara reporting from the Kenya School of Government on day one of the Cybersecurity Week.
The Kenya Ports Authority plans to construct a modern cruise ship terminal at the Lamu and Shimoni seaports to tap the growing cruise tourism business in the region. The two seaports are fast becoming a cruise ship favorite, receiving hundreds of tourists this year. This week, MV Diana docked at Lamu, arriving at the island following a historic stop at Shimoni Port in Kwale with 120 passengers aboard and 129 crew members.
Lamu Port, which was opened in 2021, is fast growing in profile and in business, outpacing Mombasa, which has always been the country's premier seaport. However, lack of a dedicated cruise terminal is holding back the growth of the cruise business in the region. Yesterday, the port came to life with the docking of the MVSH Diana, which made a third call to the Lamu archipelago, bringing 120 tourists to the UNESCO heritage site.
Kama washikadau wetu wa biashara, tuna furaha kubwa kwamba tumetembelewa na wageni kutoka bara la ulimwengu kuthibitisha kwamba Lamu ni amani.
MVSH Diana was greeted by a thrilled community, with the tourists joining in for traditional Bajun jig with the locals. The tourists toured the UNESCO-listed Lamu Old Town, exploring Swahili architecture, historic mosque and Shela Beach, highlighting the island's growing appeal as a global cruise destination.
You have a beautiful, beautiful town. The entrance is absolutely colorful, and we love the heritage. We love that you, one of the oldest Swahili settlement back in 1370, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very beautiful.
Ukuzaji wa tourism unaanza kupika hapa na unazidi kuendelea kwa sababu ino meli sasa imekuwa ni schedule, Lamu ni schedule port yake.
Lamu County Governor Issa Timami hosted a welcoming ceremony for tourists, commending the ship's management for once again including Lamu in their cruise tour itinerary. Timami described the visit as a positive sign of the region's growing appeal in the global tourist market, further appealing to the cruise operators to consider adding more stopovers in Lamu in the future.
Hii ni natija ya Lamu na tunafurahia kuwa na wageni. Ninafurahia kwa wafanyaji biashara wangu wenye mahoteli watafaidika kutokana na ziara hii.
Launched in 2023 at the Helsinki shipyard in Finland, the MVSH Diana is 125 meters long, standing as one of the largest and most advanced in Swan Hellenic's fleet. It boasts a capacity of up to 220 guests and features world-class amenities.
Before we move on to the sports desk with Bernardo Kochokumo, our last one here, the Capital Markets Authority is reviewing the real estate investment trusts, collective investment schemes, regulations, and the foreign investors regulations as part of a broader effort to modernize Kenya's financial architecture. The CMA says the goal is to align domestic markets with international standards, boost transparency, and attract a more diverse pool of investors.
According to the Capital Market Authority, the reforms once implemented will make small and medium-sized enterprises the centerpiece of its next phase of market development. The regulator's latest capital market reports outline sweeping reforms aimed at opening up the country's capital market to a wider pool of local businesses while strengthening transparency and investor confidence. CMA Chief Executive Officer Wycliffe Shamir says a regulatory redesign will open the door for SMEs to list by introducing after 12 months of public issuance, while the new SME fixed income securities market segment allows smaller issuers to raise 400 million shillings in bond markets. The Market Soundness Report released by the CMA says the initiative offers a viable alternative for businesses that have traditionally relied on expensive bank loans and short-term financing. CMA's Acting Director for Policy and Market Development, Samuel Kamonyu Njoroge, notes that the authority's focus is on creating an enabling environment that nurtures innovation and financial resilience.
And thank you. It is time for the latest from the sports desk with me, Bernardo Kumu. And what a day for the soccer in the country, where the Harambee Starlets will make a return to the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations after a 4-1 aggregate win over the Gambia in second second leg played at the Stade Ladio in Tis, Senegal, now leading by 3-1 after the first leg played at the Nyayo National Stadium last Friday. Experienced Mwana Halima Adam, aka Dogo, scored a header in the 56th minute to give the Starlets a 3-goal cushion in a 4-1 aggregate win that guaranteed them a place in next year's Women's Football Africa showpiece after their debut at Cameroon in 2016. Now the result comes with a bonus of 1 million shillings for every member of the Harambee Starlets squad from President William Ruto for qualifying for Morocco 2026 with a win away from home in the second leg. Now the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations will be hosted in Morocco from March 17th to April 3rd. And congratulations to Harambee Starlets for making a return to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations after debuting in 2016. Elsewhere, Mozartbet Cup champions Nairobi United football team arrived in the country this morning from Tunisia after the historic achievement in the CAF Confederations Cup, where they eliminated Tunisia's giants Etoile du Sahel in the second preliminary round to qualify for the group stage of the tournament in their first appearance. Now the group stage draw, which will involve 16 qualified teams, will take place in Johannesburg, South Africa on the 3rd of next month.
The team returned home early today to a hero's welcome at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and club officials received them. Nairobi United made history in Tunisia after defeating Etoile Sportive du Sahel of Tunisia through penalty shootouts following a 2-2 aggregate draw over the two-legged encounter, both home and away.
Statement ilikuwa ishafanyika kitambo. Mliona game ya Gor finali na ndio bado inaendelea, kwa hivyo si hatuko hapa kupeana statement, tuko hapa kufanya kazi yetu yenye tumeajiriwa na His Excellency, and tutaendelea mbele pia kufanya kazi.
Next stage I think already I think sasa ni no pressure. Tunataka kucheza bila pressure, na muhimu vijana wanajua tunataka kuwakilisha wa Kenya, na hiyo sasa hizi tunapepa flag na tuna make sure tutaweka mali na fatua.
The team qualified for the continental competition after winning the Mozartbet Cup earlier this year, a victory that kept off a remarkable season in which they were also promoted to the Kenyan Premier League.
The main thing is to keep our heads straight. Isingie kwa kichwa bado. Nimefurahi umesema no pressure, but let us remain humble as always. Let us remain focused. Let us remain, with that spirit and continue being brothers to each other.
After qualifying for the group stage, the team is expected to receive a substantial cash prize amounting to 51 million Kenya shillings.
Shukuru technical bench kwa kunitrust na kunipatia opportunity ya kushowcase whatever naweza fanya. Kule Toel kuna vitu mingi expect kupata hizo kelele kila kitu, lakini tulikuwa na courage na confidence ya kuface hizo vitu zote na to emerge victorious.
Nairobi United now carries the nation's hopes as the sole representative in the continental competitions this season. The group stage draw is scheduled to take place in Johannesburg, South Africa on the 3rd of next month.
And definitely the man of the match was Kelvin Odor, the guy who just spoke in the final soundbite there, the goalkeeper who saved 2 penalties and scored the decisive one to have Nairobi United going through to the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup. Moving on, the Kenya national women's sevens team is all focused on reclaiming their glory in the Women's Africa Cup Sevens, scheduled on the 15th and 16th of next month at the RFA grounds along Ngong Road here in Nairobi. Now, the Lionesses have been training on the grounds in preparation for the tournament, which will be making a comeback in the country since 2014.
The Women's Africa Cup Sevens follows the Safari Sevens held at Nyayo National Stadium 2 weeks ago, where Kenya Lionesses reclaimed their title in the women's category, which acted as a build-up towards the continental event, where the team is determined to come out triumph after tasting a sweet victory in 2018.
Rugby is not all about the physical part, pia ni lazima ukuwe na brains ndio ucheze rugby, and me I feel like kukua hapa ni juu like I can run, you know, different people have different skill.
The Lionesses want to end the South African domination on home soil after finishing runners-up to them last time, with team captain Sheila Shajira calling on home fans to come out in large numbers at the RFA grounds mid-next month to support the cause.
Players wanachangamka, wanajituma. Kila siku asubuhi tuko hapa, tunatoka saa 8, tunajituma.
The new players are coming in with different mindset than the old ladies, so we'll see a different Lioness now.
The 2025 Women's Africa Cup Sevens will involve 12 countries, with Kenya being drawn in Pool B with Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, while defending champion South Africa are drawn in Pool A with Zimbabwe and Mauritius. Uganda ladies are in Group C with Zambia, Burkina Faso, while in Group D has Madagascar, Tunisia and Egypt. Team manager Camilino Yuayo says she will take one game at a time in the quest to reach the finals and reclaim the prestigious trophy.
And to soccer now, where Sofapaka produced a spirited comeback to snatch a late draw against Mara Sugar in the FKF Premier League clash played today at the Dandora Stadium in Nairobi. Now, after a cagey first half that ended goalless, Mara Sugar came back firing on all cylinders in the second half. They broke the deadlock in the 57th minute before doubling the advantage 11 minutes later to take control of the game. However, Sofapaka refused to surrender to pull one back in the 72nd minute. And when it seemed Mara Sugar would walk away with all the 3 points, Sofapaka struck deep into stoppage time in the 95th minute to level the scores and salvage a crucial point. The result leaves Mara Sugar 10th on the log with 6 points, while Sofapaka sits 13th with 5 points. The Premier League action continues tomorrow with several key fixtures lined up. Tusk FC will face Kariobangi Sharks as Ulinzi Stars meet Bidco United. Shabana will host FC Leopards at Gusii, while Kakamega Homeboys will be away to APS Bomet. That's at Kiprugut Chumo Stadium in Kericho.
Brian anaileta nje, amekosa kwanza. Timothy Dayala anaweka chuma cha pili. Joseph Kuloba inapigwa pass pembeni kwa nguvu mpya. Lugalia super sub. Stanley Lugalia anawapa matumaini Sofapaka kuwa anaweza kurudi mchezoni. Vedi na Mbesa anaileta ndani huku, ameishika kwanza, ameitema. Joseph Kuloba anarudi.
And well done to Coach Akwana for the valuable point against Mara Sugar. And Africa Deaf Athletics champion Kelvin Kipkogei is eyeing a gold medal at the 2025 Tokyo Summer Deaflympics set for 15th through to the 26th of next month in Tokyo, Japan. Now, the 27-year-old will also compete in the men's long jump, as his main focus on the javelin throw, where he hopes to emulate Julius Yego's golden success. Kipkogei has set an ambitious target of throwing at least 60 meters in Tokyo, a mark he believes is within reach and inspired by the bronze medal he won on his Deaflympics debut in Caxias do Sul, Brazil in 2022. In that event, the African champion managed a 51.30 meters throw, while Italy's Massetti Matteo struck gold with 60.59 meters. Kipchoge booked his ticket to Tokyo after topping the national Deaflympics trials held at the Ulinzi Sports Complex in Nairobi in September.
Goal is to come back with a gold medal. So the progress that we have made, I feel confident in it, and I want to show the government, particularly the people from my home, Nandi County, that we can be able to do very well in athletics.
And on that note, that's how we put a cap on from the sports desk this particular evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bernard Okumu.
Many thanks indeed, Bernard, for that update. Well, from all of us here at the news desk, it's time to go home. Thank you so much for watching. I am Mboya. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya. Hope tomorrow will be a brighter day. Bye-bye.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Shinde.com. Shinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive. Not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Dosi amelala, sukuma moja. Wewe pia ndio muoga. Ndio maana Master Demi ilikupita. Demi haiko nipita bwana. Mimi najaza entry ticket zangu. Wewe hata unajua namba ya kusenda.
Sini star 419 has.
Option. Ni Probox. Bwana finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya hiyo kitu.
Mfinye.
Finya bwana.
Iliko Probox kwa star 419 hash option 3. Fresh design na ni light commercial vehicle. Cargo space ni kubwa na kama haitoshi iko foldable backseat for more space. Kamera ni mbili mbele na kamera ni mbili nyuma. Injini yako ni 1500cc. Nguvu na picking guaranteed. Hii itakuserve whether ni familia, biashara, camping, ita come through.
Fungua kit. Fungua kit. Fungua kit. Fungua kit.
Wewe, saa ni saa ngapi unafungua hiyo gate?
Ni watchman alikuwa anatoka na gari yake.
Watchman? Ametoa gari wapi?
Ya wasi amesinda kwa star 419 hash.
Iliko Probox kwa star 419 hash option 3. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive, not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Wewe, sasa ni saa ngapi unafungua hiyo gate?
Ni watchman alikuwa anatoka na gari yake.
Watchman? Ametoa gari wapi?
Ya wasi amesinda kwa star 419
Iko Probox kwa star 419 option 3.
Cheza safe, cheza smart.
Hi guys, it's Bella Muziki here. To all our PPP TV fans, create account yako mpya pale tushinde.com. Use our promo code PPPTV to get 10 free bets instantly. And this is how you do it. Go to our website tushinde.com. Click join now to register. Weka namba yako ya simu na password. Confirm your password. Then, for free bets, use promo code PPPTV. You'll then receive an OTP. Enter the OTP number to verify and complete registration yako. Log in ukitumia the same details. Go to wallets, deposit 49 shillings and above to get your free bets. After that, close your wallet, open it again, and here are your free bets. Click to view free bets zako. Press play for any game. Use your free bets to play and win. To confirm the amount you've won, go back to your wallet and this is your balance. Remember, bado kuna free bets zingine za kucheza na kujishindia. The more you play, pesa zako zinazidi kuongezeka. After playing and winning, kuwithdraw cash yako ni fast and easy. Enda kwa wallet yako, enter the amount you wish to withdraw, then click withdraw to M-Pesa. Register today on tushinde.com using promo code PPPTV and get your 10 free bets instantly. Remember to play responsibly and gaming is for 18 years and above.
Kumbuka michezo yetu yote ya tushinde.com ni ya bahati nasibu na wa main mission ni charity, na tunawahimiza wachezaji wetu wote, tafadhali cheza responsibly na sio kwa yeyote chini ya miaka 18. Madam, majina nani?
Naitwa Jane Wanjiko Masharia.
Kutoka area gani?
Nimetoka ile ya Kaberia.
Kazi unafanya gani?
Hoteli na duka kidogo.
Jina nani?
Rafael.
Kutoka area gani?
Hapa Kasarani.
Kazi ni gani?
Mimi ni rider.
Sababu yako ya kucheza ni gani?
Sababu ni mingi, tunacheza, tusaidia watu.
Wow. Safi kabisa.
Yeah.
Dada yetu jina nani?
Kwa majina naitwa Irene kutoka Dagoretti. Yeah.
Shughuli unafanya gani?
Shughuli nafanya kazi ya kibarua kufua.
Kutoka maeneo gani nyumbani?
Burundi.
Burundi pia. Mmesema hapa tushinde.
Lazima tushinde, lazima tuwin.
Wow, karibu.
Asante.
Hapa ndani nimeweka minced meat na spaghetti. Hapa ndani nimeweka nyama kilo 1. Hapa ndani nimeweka gunia mzima ya waru na nimeweka na karaya yake. Hapa ndani nimeweka TV. Hapa ndani nimekuwekea fridge na haiendi peke yake, inaingia na microwave kando yake. Hapa ndani iko 10,000 Kenya shillings. Hapa ndani iko 25,000, iko 50,000 Kenyan shillings na iko 150,000 Kenyan shillings. Watatu nyinyi lazima box moja ing'olewe, si ndio? Ni gani mnataka tutoe hapa? Moja kati ya 12. Unatamani kutoa nini?
Number 12.
Number 12.
Yes.
Mko sure?
Tuko sure.
Munaona kama iko na nini?
Iko na spaghetti hiyo.
Hamtaki kugeuza?
Hapana. Nitoke tu.
Confirm kwamba namba 12 nimetoa?
Yeah.
Wamechagua namba 12. Wewe ukiwa nyumbani tulikuwa tumeahidi kwamba kuna 50 t-shirts for the first 50 people kupredict mahali nitaweka ma 150,000 Kenyan shillings ya wiki hii. Msema kweli? Bainisha. You know wametoa nini hapa. Right now, you know kama umeshinda. That is kama ulikuwa among the first 50 people who predict mahali you can see 150,000 iko. Kuja ujichagulia sanduku yako ya bahati wewe mwenyewe live hapa kwenye studio kupitia *419# au ingia kwa tushinde.com. Nakumbuka, cheza responsibly. Na natamani kufika hapo wa kwanza kujichagulia box. Jane, kuja hapa. Iko pressure inakungoja hapa. Unajua nini umetoa? Unatamani kujua? Unatamani kuwe mchele na waru ama mchele na spaghetti na misbit?
Kwenye nyama kilo moja.
Kwenye nyama kilo moja. Enda upatane naye huko mbele. Ya mimi na mdomo wangu nakwambia iko dawa ya kunguni. Enda. Iko chakula na